So the ATM turning 5, launching its election campaign. Let's speak to the spokesperson, Zama Nchona. Mr. Nchona, thank you for being with us. Well, happy anniversary. I remember when the ATM launched and was on the ballot paper, people were saying, well, is the name chosen just because it's close to the ANC? Is that an attempt to get votes? But the ATM has really made a mark for itself, certainly in the efforts to hold the president accountable for Phala Phala. How would you assess the last 5 years?
Thank you so much. Good evening to you and the viewers. Well, as the African Transformation Movement, we have had truly an interesting 5 years, and 5 years of advocacy, an introduction to the space, which we have grabbed with both hands, because the mandate was clear from the voters that we want an accountable government. We want a trustworthy government. We want a government that is going to prioritize the needs of South Africans. And true to the mandate given to us, as soon as President Zungula went into the National Assembly, you could clearly see from the get-go that the president was determined, as mandated by the people of this country, to prioritize the citizens of this country. From matters that had to do with border controls, to matters that had to do with the prioritization of South Africans in the microeconomic space, to matters that had to do with caution as far as the COVID-19 phenomenon was concerned. You would remember that the African Transformation Movement was saying it is very important for us to look into Section 12, subsection 2C of the Constitution on matters of not exposing the country and citizens of the country to uncharted and untested terrain, as it is a violation of the Constitution if we are not going to get the citizens having a buy-in and having their say on those matters. By the time we got to Phala Phala.
Yeah, carry on quickly.
Yes, by the time we got to Phala Phala, truly, the president, the African Transformation Movement was truly showcasing how well-oiled of a machinery ATM is. When you look at how the ATM raised the matter with Section 96, took the matter to the public protector using Section 96, subsection 2 of the Executive Members Ethics Act, and also how the president of the ATM raised the matter in Parliament using Section 89, and that had led to the establishment of an independent inquiry which said we are in agreement with the ATM. The president, definitely there is pretty evidence that he has violated his oath of office.
All right. Recently, though, the party lost Mzwanele Manye, arguably one of the most recognizable figures and names within the ATM camp. Is that a loss that could affect your electoral outcomes?
Firstly, it is important to note that the power of the ATM is not in recognizable figures. With recognizable figures in the country, the ATM saw it wise enough to take President Vuyo Zungula, who at the time was 31 years old, fresh out of college, and said, this is the type and the caliber of leadership we are going to advance. And the effectiveness of the African Transformation Movement was not dependent also on brands. It was dependent on ethical governance, accountable governance. The matters that we have raised so far are a question of ethics, a question of accountability, and not a question of brands. So as the African Transformation Movement, the advocacy work continues. Yes, Seventh Manye has made his contribution in the African Transformation Movement, but the depth that we have in the movement has also allowed fresh minds, has allowed academics to come into the space and contribute. So our advancement is based on the advancement of the people of this country through ethical and accountable government, and that will still persist, and that will be our narrative moving forward. And we believe that that is what made the people of this country fall in love with the ATM and not brands.
All right, we appreciate your time today on the ATM's 5th anniversary. That was Zama Nchona, spokesperson for the African Transformation Movement, or ATM.